welcome back to my channel. So this week's drugstore dealer dump is going to be with a hair product, but it's not really a drugstore because you can't go and buy it, but I honestly think Amazon counts as a drugstore. I really do, because it's drugstore prices, and I feel like most of us probably go on Amazon as much as we go to an actual drugstore. So I'm just going to pretend that you guys are all okay with Amazon being a drugstore. Anywho, I am going to review some hair extensions. These are 22-inch hair extensions off Amazon. They are for $75, I think about $75 to $77. They are 100% Remy human hair. So one of the biggest things you guys want to look for when you are looking at hair extensions is that it is 100% human hair. They do have synthetic blends, meaning like it's half human, half synthetic, and those are fine, but I just find that over time, if you want them to last you a long time with heat products and styling and stuff like that, it's best to go with 100% human hair, because then you just guarantee like the longevity, and then you're actually working with hair that is like yours. The last pair that I found for under $100 that I really liked were from eBay. eBay sometimes is a little tricky, like it can take a long time for the shipping to come, and some people are not as comfortable ordering from eBay. I don't know if it's international or what it is, but I just feel like sometimes people feel more comfortable with Amazon. Plus, if you're a Prime member, you can get things within a day or two. So I just thought we'd do this. I got the 22-inch length. Now, normally speaking, for my hair, which is, you know, if we look at this, like it's pretty much like up to my chest. My longest layer, it's right in the middle of my chest. I would say for me, between 18 inches is what I would do if I want just to add volume. And if I want length, I'd go about 20 inches. And if I want to go really long and kind of have like really nice mermaid waves, that's what I usually do, which is what I'm going to do today with this. Then I would go with the 22 inches. So let's just take this out right now. And here's another thing. Okay, so this does give you directions, like on the back, simple directions. I'm going to show you guys my method for putting on hair extensions. I get asked this a lot, like how do you put them on? How do you look for the right color? All that stuff. So my hope is today to kind of go over how I kind of go through the extension process in general. So let's say, you know, I ordered this and I got dark brown. Okay, now my hair has highlights in it and I'm due for a color, so like it's faded a lot, and you can see they're similar, but they're different, right? And I think one of the biggest, for me, misconceptions when ordering hair extensions is that people think it has to be spot on. Honestly, I think it's okay if it's a little darker or a little lighter. Obviously, I don't want to do like blonde, but this will kind of add more depth to my hair. So especially if you're going to do like a braided hairstyle, if you're going to do some waves, I think it adds that nice depth and dimension to your hair overall. The only time I like hair to match my extensions perfectly is if you're gonna do like a really slick straight hair, because then you can literally see every nook and cranny, and you can see like where your hair color starts and where it stops and where the extension starts. So then it just gets that gets a little iffy. But honestly, for updos, especially for people that are going to weddings and are brides and stuff like that, this would do really well. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys, first impressions with just holding this, I'm pretty impressed. Like, this is nice and thick. This is a good test for me. Like, when I get extensions, I want it to feel substantial. And when it does, that makes me feel like it's a good purchase. So we're gonna go in. And the other thing I always look for is clip-ins, okay? I want clip-ins. This makes it so easy. You wanna make sure you do not get the extensions that are just like wefts by itself without the clip. Because that means then you have to sew these clips in yourself, and trust me, you don't want to do that. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is nice. It's a double weft, so if you can see that, it's almost like two pieces of hair that were sewn together. So you have one with 3 clips, okay? That's what one little weft looks like. Then I have another set of 3 clips, 3-pronged weft, but this is a little shorter. As you can see, this one is longer. See that? Beginning front to back, or beginning to end, and this one's shorter. So, as so. There's one right here and one right here. So these two right here are 2 double clipped pronged or 2-pronged, and then you have singles right here, which I like using the singles for the sides of my hair. Okay, so here's my little technique that I do. I take the longest weft, which is this one, the 3-pronged longest one, and I take the one that's a little shorter like this, and I'm just going to clip it in the back, as so. I'm going to clip it onto the other weft. So basically it looks like that. See that? So it's hanging off of that. And that is going to make application so much easier in my mind because, I don't know, it just feels less heavy and it just does the job better. And then for these two, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna clip the back right here. I like secure it onto the back end of that and then just do that. There you go. See that? And you can do whatever works for you. This is just what works for me, and it has for a while. And then I'm just gonna leave these two alone because I'm gonna put that in the area that I need more volume. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attach the extensions. What I like to do is pretty much take my thumbs where my eyebrows are, and I'm going to separate the hair right there, pretty much from the crown up. There are different ways of putting on extensions for everyone. This is just what works for me. I don't like to put any extensions above this area, and that is primarily because I like to kind of move my hair to each side throughout the day, and I like to even tease a little bit up here. And so sometimes when you have the wefts in and you can see, like, you know, they're right here, and then you try and move it, it just messes things up. So I like to just play it safe and keep it pretty much from here down. Okay, now I'm gonna turn around and show you guys what I do. So you're going to just want a little teasing comb here and maybe a little bit of hairspray. Light hold is preferable just to keep the extensions in place because you're gonna wanna create a little base for them to anchor onto. So I'm gonna take a little teasing comb as such, and I'm going to just lift up about an inch section all the way across. And I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to lightly tease just at the base. So again, it adds like a nice anchor at the top. It should be just nice and like a full anchor right there. Then you can just take a little bit of spray. This one is the Bumble Bumble. This is actually a strong finish. I would recommend light again, like I said, but I can't find my light one right now. So I'm just gonna go with the firm hold. Just go lightly. If you have a firm hold, just go lightly. Okay. And then we are going to proceed with applying the extension. So again, these are two wefts attached together. And I like to start with the longest, or I like to start with the longest weft at the base, because if you think about it, as you go up, your hair gets shorter and smaller. So you're just going to want to go in the same line as where your parting is. I like to start all the way at the end and then find the parting, clip and clip. And let's say if at this point you feel like your second weft is a little loose, you can just undo it and re-clip it into that first weft to make sure it's nice and secure. There you go. So you see that? I can tug at it. The main thing you want to remember or look out for is that your wefts stay in even when I pull a little bit, because I'm gonna be pulling a little bit when I curl, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys. You can see this is where my natural hair ends and this is where the extension ends. So it's definitely adding like about, you know, a good 3-4 inches. Wow, that looks nice. Okay, I know that I originally was applying the 2-pronged wefts also together, but I forgot that since these extensions are a lot longer than my natural hair, I want it to look really nice and even across at the bottom. So in order for that to happen, I want to spread this out. So I'm gonna put these equally on each side in the back. And I'm going to leave my hair as is. I'm not going to put any more hair down. You can do that. And if you have very different hair lengths, I would definitely recommend going back through the process and taking a layer of hair down and then re-teasing and all that stuff, which I can just show you guys what I'm talking about. But for me, I like to just have a good amount at the top. So you can just kind of take a little bit more and leave. So part that, re-clip, and then just take whatever hair you have there, and you're going to re-tease it just as we did previously. Spray lightly, and then we're going to attach the clips. Now the clips, I'm going to go on each end. So right there, right there. Same thing on this side. we go. Okay. And then lastly, we have the 2 side ones. Now this you can really do at your discretion. I'm just going to put them pretty much at the front. And for this part, I don't really tease it just because I like it to look very natural. But if you have thinner hair, I would recommend teasing. It just makes it easier. So if you find this difficult to do, just keep practicing. You basically just want to make sure you're anchoring onto a part of your hair that is at the scalp. So, and it's painless. It really is painless. But now I'm going to give you guys a sense of what this looks like. All right, so I'm standing up right now and you can see this is how long the extensions are. This is where my hair ends and this is where the extensions end. So definitely a good 4 or so inches longer. So now we are going to, so this is what it looks like when it's all to the side. Now what we are going to do is kind of even all this out and we're gonna curl it and we're really gonna make it look like it's one nice head of hair. So before I start, I'm going to use a heat primer. This is the Pantene Pro V Thermal Heat Protectant and it helps protect hair up to 450 degrees. I will say that just because you have hair extensions in does not mean that you shouldn't be protecting your hair. I actually enjoy wearing extensions because I feel like I am putting less heat directly on my own hair and it is going to the extension. With that said, I do want to protect my extensions as well because it's real hair and I just want to maintain it. And you know, I want to be able to reuse these a lot. And then what I'm going to do is go in with a little bit of Beach Babe Texturizing Dry Shampoo. So this is going to give a little bit of volume and I can do this before I actually go in with the curling iron or the curling wand because it's going to give like extra body and volume without having to do too much afterwards. Okay. So you can see that just gives some nice texture to your hair, especially if you do have fine hair. This works great for that. It's a good little trick that I like to do. A lot of times people use texturing spray after they're done with their hair, but I like doing it before too because it just kind of sets the tone for that nice body throughout your hair. And then the only thing you're going to need on top of this is a curling wand. I have really been into the Conair Infinity. This is the cone clampless iron, so you can see it goes from skinny to fat and it just gives these really beautiful waves. I will show you. It's under 30 bucks from Walmart. It's good stuff. Now I'm just going to separate the hair and I'm going to go in sections. I like to put it at the highest heat, 400 degrees. This does curl really quickly. I like to wrap it starting at pretty much an inch down and I curl all the way around towards the skinniest part and I let that sit for about 15 seconds, maybe even less. This does heat up quickly. Before it drops all the way down, I just hold it for a second. This, when it's hot and you scrunch it up like this, it's going to hold the curl way more. Do you see that? Look at that. But guys, I'm telling you, for 20, 30 bucks, not go wrong with this iron. It does the job, you know what I mean? This does require a little extra work on your wrist, but it's worth it. Okay, so here, I'm just gonna show you guys a quick difference. Do you see when I hold the curl in my palm for a second and let it cool down versus when I don't? Look at that. You get so much of a better tight curl. So I'm just gonna do that again. And then you see. And it's okay if at the bottom it kind of loses it a little bit. The one thing I'm noticing is the bottoms are not curling as well, and that's the extension part. So I'm just going to curl a little bit of it by itself. Let's see if that does a better job. Oh yeah, okay. So you might just have to kind of curl 2 separate parts. That's okay. And this process, you know, takes a little longer than the normal curling your hair business, but honestly, especially with extensions, it will last a lot longer. So now you have your extensions curled, so the next time you want to put them in, it's gonna get that much easier to do. Only thing I'm not like loving is the ends are looking a little straggly, but I think once I go through and just kind of curl them, it should work. So I'm gonna just go finish the rest of this. Little fun fact, guys. Remember when I was saying that I felt like it was a little straggly at the bottom? Well, I jumped the gun and started curling my hair without putting in all the extensions. So I put them in, and now you can see how full it is because I've just curled the bottom half of my hair, and now this makes a lot of sense. So basically, you have 2 of the longer 3-pronged wefts, and then you have 2 of the middle-sized 3-pronged wefts, and then you have 1 of each of the 2, and then you have 1 of each of the ones. 8 pieces total. So excuse me for that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I finished the bottom. Now I'm gonna let go of the top, and the top is where you're gonna see a lot more range of waves and lengths because my hair is layered. So at the top I have very, you know, like shorter hair, and this is why I like to wave my hair fully with this look because it just kind of combines really nicely. And for the bangs, I kind of like to run it back and forth like this, and it kind of gives it a nice, I don't know, not super curly, and I leave about a ½ inch out, and I pull it, and it just gives like that nice little wave look. The fronts, I just like it to look a little less wavy. Okay, wait. And if you do mess up like I did right there, like I didn't like the way that wave looked, I'm going to just grab it again and let it sit. And you'll see when it's all done, like how much more uniform it looks. Because right now you might feel like, wait, you can tell your hair from the extensions, but just wait. So this is what it looks like when it's fully curled. That takes just a little longer than I would say with a normal curling iron, but honestly, again, this stays for a long time. Like honestly, these curls will stay for about 2-3 days. So this is what it looks like. All right, so now that the hair is done, you could keep it in the center if you want. You can part it however you want. I like to just take my fingers and separate the curls just a little bit so it looks really full. This is what's really going to help make the extensions blend in with your natural hair. And then again, like I mentioned at the beginning, like to flip it just a little bit, especially when I have my hair kind of in this mermaid style. I like my hair to be on the side. I feel like, I don't know, I'm really into that one-sided look. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of hairspray and kind of let it set just a little bit. And that is it, guys. This is what it looks like with the extensions fully done. I'm gonna just stand up for you so you get a sense of it. You know, the more you separate, like down here, the more it's going to look less straggly. And another trick is you can take a teasing comb as such and kind of just tease that part up so that way it looks fuller at the bottom. I will say overall these are great. The only thing, and maybe it's because I should have gotten the 20 inches, not the 22, but they're just a little bit, you know, less full at the bottom, and I think that's because I don't have enough hair to kind of compensate for that at the bottom. But I will say for just hairstyles that you're going to be doing, like let's say I was taking this and doing it to the side, this would then be fantastic for like a nice little side ponytail situation or something like that. If I had gone to like 20 inches, I think I'd be golden. I wouldn't see any straggly ends. So honestly, as far as how these feel, they feel so good. They look really nice. Like you can see, again, my hair right now is a little lighter, but this is darker. I think it blends in nicely. Overall for $77, I'm really happy with these. I would just say maybe be conscious of the length. So again, I went with 22 inches and I think I probably should have done 20 to make it look really nice and natural at the bottom. However, I will say for doing a kind of side do or wearing your hair to the side, this looks great to me. The straggly ends just bother me just a tiny bit. Honestly, if you're looking for extensions that are great quality and will withstand heat, like this was 400 degrees, then these are great. I will list everything below. So for me, this is definitely a drugstore deal. Just pay attention to length, but honestly, you can't go wrong for under 80 bucks. I'm really happy with these. If you guys have any questions or comments for me, list them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe.